So not exactly the best news from Games Workshop today. It seems that Warhammer's getting more expensive. Let's talk about what's going up, how much, and why. Hello and welcome back to Warsbets Tactics, where today we're talking about Games Workshop's recent unfortunate announcement that they're doing a big price increase. It seems that plastic kits and things are going to be getting more expensive across the board. It's not just targeted to a few models. Not great news for average hobbyists. It would seem that it's being driven by inflation mainly, but we'll compare the rate rises to inflation in just a second. So Games Workshop have basically just announced that their price increases are going to be coming on the 6th of March 2023, so from time of recording you've got a bit less than 4 weeks to go. This one isn't particularly unexpected, to be honest. It does seem that around about March time is the time that they usually review their prices. Things never really tend to go down with Games Workshop, it's only raises, but over the years things have been a bit more variable. Sometimes they put them up above inflation, sometimes less than that, and sometimes it's different parts of the ranges that they decide to increase the price of, but keep other things the same. Last year they put up model price kits by around about 5 or 6%, it seems like they're doing that similarly this year, and they also increased the price on rulebooks and things, but kept hobby supplies the same. It looks like this year, in terms of the things that are affected, it's basically all plastic and resin models, both from Games Workshop and Forge World. They say that on average that's going to be around about 6% when you take all things into account, though I guess we'll have to see what that actually winds up being. For an example of one kit that's gone up, they talk about the Sisters of Battle. They've gone from £36 to £37.50. That's the basic troops box for the army, and that small rise would equate to around about 4%, so it's not exactly the best example if they looked over their whole range. It's a little bit on the sunny and optimistic side, seeing as we know that the average is 6, so if there's going to be some things that are less, then there's going to be some things that are more. Maybe they should have found something that was actually a bit more appropriate and a 6% rise. In general, it does seem to be a fairly targeted price rise aimed squarely at their model kits as opposed to their supporting things. Besides models that are going up, apparently the only other things that are increasing are their spray paints and their non-synthetic paintbrushes. We don't know how much those two classes are going up, it could be more or less than 6%. My guess would be out of their supporting supplies, they're probably targeting the things that they're struggling to get supplies of the most at the moment. Supply chain shortages, general chaos and inflation have usually been the order of the day since the pandemic. They have confirmed a bunch of things that won't be affected. Firstly, their codexes and other rulebooks won't. Probably a good decision, to be honest, as they put them up 10% last year. I feel like they are perhaps part of the Games Workshop range that seem particularly overcosted for what you get, so good to hear that we're not getting $60 codexes just yet. The other things that aren't going up are the starter boxes for Warhammer 40k, things like your Recruit, Elite and Command editions of those, making those even better value box sets relative to the rest of the range. Certainly things like the Recruit and Elite edition are particularly good value already compared with the rest. This just pushes these guys even further good deals compared with the rest of Warhammer 40k's range at least. So if you did desperately want some Space Marine Outriders, Assault Intercessors and Scorpet Destroyers and things, then I guess these guys are looking even better by comparison. And bear in mind that the current Necrons vs Space Marine starter sets are unlikely to be very long for this world. With a new edition of 40k they will go away. You'll get some different things in their place, most likely Space Marines vs Tyranids, if the rumours are to be believed. Otherwise, the things that they have confirmed aren't going up as well are the rest of their hobby supplies, their paint sets, the paint pots individually with the Citadel range, their various tools which I think are spectacularly overpriced for what they are myself personally, and any of their synthetic brushes in the line. I'd guess that means that they're probably having a better time manufacturing those than other stuff. It does seem that unlike last time, there's no mention of any region-specific exemptions this time round. I believe that they took a bit of mercy on Australia and New Zealand and left them out of the price rises last time, perhaps helping them catch up with the rest of the world just a tiny bit compared with their overpriced Warhammer. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any similar exemption this time, so unless they surprise us for the better, then it seems that people down under are going to be hit by this just as hard. As to why they're doing this, obviously it goes without saying that Games Workshop are a company that want to maximise their profits, though in reality it's not quite as simple as just put up prices and get more money, as it means that fewer people would buy and less people take part in the hobby in general. Basically it's in their interest to charge the maximum amount for the models that people will actually pay, and if they go higher then they're actually going to lose out. In the article the main reason that they cite is that inflation is the main cause. Things cost more, including food, materials and transport, essentials and luxuries alike. To be fair to them, they're really not wrong over the last year or two. Just from a quick Google search, the rough levels of inflation over the last 12 months have been about 9% in the UK, around 6 or 7% in the USA as a whole, and around about 9% in the EU. Everything is costing a whole load more these days, what with supply chain disruptions, high energy prices, and a bit of chaos going on around the world. It's a tough time economically for a whole load of people out there. There's lots of people who are struggling to get by normally, and most certainly wouldn't have enough money to spend on high-priced Warhammer. I guess from Games Workshop's perspective, this is technically a below inflation rate increase. Putting up prices 6% is a little bit better than, say, 9% in several places. So in terms of money that they'll be generating from sales from this, it'll have relatively less value compared with before. Obviously, Warhammer models are starting from really quite an expensive start for plastic miniatures, and Games Workshop already turns a very tidy profit each year. I feel like the rise is maybe a bit of a middle ground. Obviously, it would have been better for hobbyists just to have no rise at all and have models be a little bit cheaper compared with everything else. But it would have been worse if they'd waxed up by 9% as the current rate of inflation in the UK. I suspect that their strategy is to try and keep models expensive but just about affordable to the majority of their customers, and they might well be getting to the tipping point if they put it up by more than 6. A below rate inflation increase is all very well in theory, but in general wages around the world aren't really keeping up with inflation very well, and it still does mean that to the average hobbyist, Warhammer will be more expensive than it was before. Your money won't go quite as far, even if the price of models isn't quite increasing at the same rate as things like certain essentials or energy. I still argue it's overall bad news for the average hobbyist, even if from Games Workshop's point of view, it's probably slightly bad news for them as well. Relative to inflation, the value that they earn from model sales will be relatively less than it was before, even after this rise. In any case, all thoughts of inflation aside, it is kind of useful to give us a heads up. Again, they could have been a fair bit more unpleasant about this and just literally said on one weekend, yes, we're raising the prices, here they are, you've got no chance to buy anything if you wanted them at the old prices. It does mean that if you're absolutely certain that you're going to be getting some models at some point in the near future, then probably ordering or buying them before March the 6th is preferable to just after March the 6th. Though obviously only if it was models that you were planning to buy anyway. You're obviously not going to be saving money if you just went out and spent loads of money on Warhammer on things that you wouldn't otherwise have bought. I think it's just more the case that if you were going to just buy a massive army all in one go or something like that, it would just seem like a very silly decision to do that just after the price rise as opposed to just before. If you were making purchases at the current prices, you could probably order through a third-party retailer, get the extra discount off, and even if they didn't have the models in stock at that point, you'd still have paid for the model at the current prices, so I guess that could be a way to avoid the price hike there. I'll leave a link to Element Games in the UK down in the video description. That one is an affiliate link that helps support the channel if you wanted the 15% off Games Workshop's prices they do for most things. Again, whenever Warhammer goes up, it kind of puts more emphasis on alternative sources, and I'm sure it'll pressure at least a few people out of the hobby or just from not taking it up in the first place. It's really not great news as hobbyists, though I guess it might put a bit more emphasis on alternative sources from Games Workshop, things like 3D printing, the second-hand market, or alternative miniatures from other suppliers, though I'm sure they'll be having their own inflation issues as well. I'll hopefully do a video to check back and see how much the model prices actually went up by. I suspect that with the way that Games Workshop does prices, things will be a bit unequal per region. Depending on price brackets, you might have things that go up, say, a bit more in euros or a bit more in pounds, depending on what price it currently is. When we do get the prices announced, though, I'll be sure to take a look. In any case, let me know your thoughts on Games Workshop's price rise down in the comments below. If the miniatures do indeed go up by a 6%, would it change the way that you buy Warhammer at all, or would you just buy that much less? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and ideas. If you've enjoyed the video and want to keep up with Games Workshop's news and releases, then feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, where I'll certainly keep the regular 40k videos coming just about every day. Finally, if you have been enjoying the videos on the channel quite a bit, I will just mention that the channel does have a Patreon page as well, and that's how I can afford to keep on making videos like this pretty much all the time. Channel patrons do get a fair few advantages, seeing certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things happen next on the channel, and automatic entry into the regular prize giveaways with a chance to win some really big model kits each month. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support, the link is down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.